Welcome. Today I have come to you with a very interesting story. The title of our story is Footprints and Empty Bowl. It is in your interest to listen to the story to the end and take advice. Footprints and the Empty Bowl, a Zen mystery. Once upon a time, high up in the mountains, there was an old monastery surrounded by dense pine trees. The oldest monk of this monastery, Master Moonstone, lived alone in a small hut closest to the mountain's peak. His silence was no different from the stillness of the mountain itself. The old monk rarely spoke to the other monks in the temple, and had spent years climbing to the summit, where he seemed to converse only with the clouds. There were rumors among the monks that he possessed some secret teachings. No one knew exactly what, but everyone felt that Master Moonstone carried a wisdom that transcended time. One day, Jiro, the youngest student of the monastery, decided to unravel this mystery. Jiro was a curious young man, his mind overflowing with questions. He had recently joined the monastery, but was eager to quickly access the great secrets of the masters. His mind was always searching for answers. The silence of Master Moonstone and his solitary journeys up the mountain seemed like the key to a deeper realm of wisdom. One morning, Jiro gathered his courage and decided to visit the master's hut. The hut was an hour's hike from the monastery, along a narrow and difficult path. As Jiro walked, he imagined what kind of mysteries the master might hold and how he could benefit from this wisdom. Perhaps the secret to enlightenment lies at the mountain's peak, he thought. Maybe he'll choose me and teach me this secret. When Jiro finally reached Master Moonstone's hut, he knocked on the door. But no sound came from inside. Only the gentle wind rustled the leaves of the pine trees. Jiro waited for a while, then slowly opened the door. Inside, he did not find the master. But on the floor, there was something remarkable, a bowl and a small piece of paper. On the paper, a single sentence was written: "To fill an empty bowl, you must first acknowledge its emptiness." Jiro couldn't make sense of it. What does this mean? How could a bowl not be filled? He muttered. Then, stepping outside, he noticed fresh footprints on the path. Master Moonstone had clearly walked further up the mountain. I have to find him, Jiro thought. He followed the footprints as they led him higher and higher up the steeper, more rugged parts of the mountain. As he climbed, his mind remained filled with questions. He tried to solve the meaning of the empty bowl, but the noise in his mind refused to quiet. Yet, the thought of finding the master and speaking with him fueled his determination. After hours of climbing, Jiro finally reached the summit. He hoped to find Master Moonstone waiting for him, but again, the master was not there. Instead, resting carefully on a stone was another empty bowl. "What is this?" Jiro exclaimed in frustration. "I climbed all this way, and all I find is another bowl." He sat down next to the stone, exhausted, but as he looked out over the view, something took his breath away. From the peak, he could see the valleys beneath the clouds and the distant horizon. Nature was silent, the wind softly blowing, and the sky seemed endless. In that moment, all the questions in Jiro's mind, all the chaos, suddenly went quiet. He just sat there and breathed. And at that moment, he understood. The emptiness of the bowl was the same as the emptiness of his mind. To fill an empty bowl, you must first acknowledge its emptiness, he recalled. That bowl was his mind. Jiro realized he had been trying to fill his mind with questions, fears, and the search for answers for years. But for the bowl to be filled, it first had to be empty. His mind could never find peace as long as it was constantly filled with noise. That simple bowl was whispering an inner secret to him: embrace emptiness, and wisdom will come naturally. At that very moment, Master Moonstone silently appeared beside Jiro. He hadn't noticed when the master arrived. The old monk quietly sat next to the bowl and smiled gently. "Now," said the master, "you understand the meaning of emptiness." As Jiro descended from the peak that day, he no longer had any questions, for he had learned that the real secret wasn't within the questions, but beyond them. The empty bowl had always been his mind. The more empty it was, the more wisdom it could hold. He had finally unlocked the master's mystery. The secret of the mountain lay within the emptiness of the bowl. This story reflects how emptiness symbolizes wisdom and inner enlightenment in Zen philosophy. Like a bowl, the mind must first be emptied before it can be filled. With simple yet profound meanings, this Zen tale reminds readers of the journey toward peace found in embracing silence and emptiness. We have come to the end of the story. If you like the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. You will make me very happy if you support me so that I can produce better content for you. Love you. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.